YouTube, welcome back. Another day. This is where we talk about things we dislike about our government, their ineffectiveness, their propaganda, their
inability to configure,
take the whole continent on a path that is more.
Don't combine any words you don't understand.
And more futuristic thinking with visions and ideas to propel the entire continent to the promised land.
Why you are invoking the human spirit?
They like it, they invoke ancestral spirit.
Alright, YouTube, we're back again. DLS Wave. Interestingly, today we're not going to talk about the government. We're going to talk about an interview that happened with one of our political presidential aspirants.
Yeah.
I mean, he's saying he's not a politician, right? He's a leader, a visionary, and somebody who wants to help the country, not the country per se, the whole continent.
But he has to lead.
Yeah, but that's what he's saying. He wants to be a leader, not a president, because he claims not to be a politician. He's a businessman. So there was an interview he had with this host from City TV or City FM. I think he works at both.
Yeah,
right.
City TV.
Yeah, by the name of Umaru Sanda. I think a lot of people know him because he's got like a very interesting background. Because people call him the cowboy, the guy who came from nothing and then made his way all up to through the ranks at City FM and City TV. So it was quite interesting to be watching, a seasoned journalist like that talking to somebody who's pretty much bidding to be president or the leader of the country. And people probably think, there were tons of questions this guy could have asked that would have made the interview more
worthwhile
of his time and actually the viewers' time as well. But he spent the whole literally 1 hour talking about the same thing, about the guy's past and his private life. So I think we're going to leave the link down for you guys to check the interview out for yourself because it's quite lengthy. We cannot put all of it up. So we'll give you a snippet of it and then you guys can check it out and let's see what you guys think about it. You have 4 children, I've seen somewhere. Is that true?
Yeah.
If any of your children said to you they want to quit school, you let them be?
I don't think so. I don't think that I also had a father at that time that would say that, hey, son, you have to make it to the end.
But you didn't leave university because you couldn't afford the fees,
right?
No,
it's not about that.
You just left because you thought it was pointless.
No, I didn't think it was pointless.
So, your take, what do you think about the interview?
I thought it was a good opportunity for the journalists to get real progressive answers from a presidential aspirant. But to me, he just squandered the 1 hour because I watched the whole interview. I sat through the whole interview because I was expecting to hear him ask relevant questions related to policies and future plans and things like that. But it never came. He just kept repeating questions that had been asked by different media houses over and over again. And it was interesting to watch, but it was irrelevant because there was not any new information coming out of that interview.
When you talk about asking the same, repeated questions still probably it's been 6 months, and that is him talking about dredging or bringing the sea. I mean, that's literally people say bringing the sea to Kumasi. 3 months probably. But now I feel like since he started his political campaign, it's it's been the same repetitive questions, right? What's your take on that?
The interview?
Yeah.
For me,
the dredging thing, we're way past that. I don't really think it's
watching that
worth
particular interview.
About.
It's like I felt in the 60s.
You feel you're back in the 60s?
Yes.
But you were born in the 60s, so
leave me alone.
Okay.
I felt like we are in the modern age, right? And this guy have said a lot already, the Cheddar guy.
Yeah.
So there was a lot in there, a lot of questions he could have gotten, questions and then answers from Cheddar that I was yearning to hear from him. Okay, you said you do this and that. How are you going to do it?
Right.
How many years would it take you?
Right.
What the money? Where are you going to get the money from? And blah 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 blah. But it's like back in the 60s where, are you sure you can do this job? Why did you say you can do it? Why that kind of it's just for me it was lame. It's just, and it goes to all the media houses, they have to start changing the format of interviewing in Ghana, because our politicians, they know the game already.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've used it.
Yeah.
Look at the state of our country. They've been answering all these questions you've been asking them, your style, your format, for years.
Yeah.
And it hasn't worked. So they have to start changing, come up with a new style. That's it.
Yeah, it was actually cringe-worthy just watching it, because just like you rightfully mentioned, right? It's like a format they have.
Yes.
Because I could literally relate it to like an interview he had with Umaru, and I think Star FM or Star Chat, something like that.
Yeah.
And he was asking pretty much the exact same question. So you went to, I think he said you went to Accra Academy, right?
Yeah.
Or what year did you finish? Can you give me 2 names of your teachers, right? It felt more like a deposition, it felt more like he was being deposed.
Yeah.
It's like they're looking for something to trap him,
Yes,
to discredit, his
Cut your
reputation, or
wings.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
So it felt very, very cringy. I'm like,
Why is it even relevant to even spend 5 minutes on his like high school background?
Exactly.
What does it benefit us?
That is why I go back. I'm saying that in Ghana per se, our style of interview, it's a cake.
yeah.
Because if you want to interview somebody and you want to know his background, educational background, for me, it's no more important.
Yeah.
Because there are so many people around the world. A particular country is Brazil, where the president was a cobbler or whatever. There have been other countries.
Yeah.
You understand? So education has nothing to do with the policies and how to get things done.
Yeah.
And that is what we are. My road is a pothole. It's a hole. My road in front of my house is a pothole, like hole. I mean,
Yeah, but at least
manholes here.
the thing is, at least you have a house. I mean, you know what I mean? There are a lot of like homelessness. There's a lot of people who need like
exactly. So there are so many pressing things going on.
That's my point.
And then you need. He wants to become a president, or he wants to become the what do you call it? The marketing guy for the country, right? What are you going to? How are you going to market our products? How many years would it take you to do this and that and that? These are the things we want to hear, so that when we vote for him, within that same year period he gave us, we can go on the street and demand that, hey, you failed because you said you can do it in 2 years. But when you come, your education, you finished 1962, so what?
Yeah, exactly. And I remember Bulari been asking him if he could sing the Accra Academy like anthem stuff. I'm like, I mean, the thing is, you have the right to ask these questions as a journalist, but what is the relevance?
If it's a chit chat or something,
That's what I'm saying. But this is a guy, like we said, a political aspirant or presidential aspirant, who is vying to be the president of the country, right? The leader of the country. So you should have it has to be very relevant, right? Things that people are kind of asking, like inwardly, or like they're thinking about, but they do not have the platform to ask him, right? Yeah. Face to face. So these are the things that they come on the interview for, right? To give the manifestos, the prospectuses, whatever it is they have for the nation. We really want to understand, but at the end of the day, it's up to the ordinary person to what? Yeah. Kind of like put the pieces together and decide. Okay, this guy he's fake. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Oh, I think this guy, we should give him a chance. All right, let's move on.
Let me ask this. So let's say I'm the one interviewing him.
Yeah.
Okay, with the dredging of the sea or the lakes, how long would it take you? Let's say from here to Kintampo, or a certain distance. How long would it take you? Okay, how much do you think it would take? Right?
But
and all that. And then when he answers, tomorrow if he's voted into power, people know they can use it against him.
I got you, but my thing that we have to move past that dredging nonsense.
No, I'm just using
but the point is, there's a lot of things you could have spoken about, because he was saying the same thing. He's come up with this is it Save Ghana Fund, something like that, that he outdoored a couple of weeks ago. So he was actually looking forward to talking about stuff like that, right? But then he did not get the chance to. All right, moving on. Let's really unpack the whole interview. Right? We can't talk about everything, but let's break them apart. So the host, right?
Yeah.
Umaru was asking him, right? Did you pretty much complete college? Do you have a degree?
No.
And he said no. And I think basically what he followed, I'm kind of paraphrasing, but I think he followed up by asking, how can we trust or entrust a country, right, to somebody who did not complete his school or somebody who doesn't have a degree.
And he also went further to say, how are you going to command like professors?
Exactly. So
if you don't
that
have
I
a
want you also
degree?
kind of like to give me your take on that.
I think.
Let me go first.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll give you this.
Everything is in the pudding right there. We have in Ghana, we have like PhDs and whatever. They've for the past, let's say from the year 2000, yeah. Or yes, from the year 2000, we've had professors, or 92. Let's use 92. People with proper degrees. I mean, I'm degree Celsius. I'm talking about here. They've been in positions. They've been in positions with all their knowledge, with their titles, their doctorate, and whatever.
Yeah.
Look at the state of the country.
Yeah.
So if education, and I'm not saying education is bad, but if you have to get a doctorate and a PhD and whatever to sort out your country, Ghana should be one of the in the top 5.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
Yeah.
I just remember something that one of my professors said. He said, education is what is left after what you've learned. Basically, what he was saying is how you apply what you've learned. Like you rightly said, if you've learned a theory that maybe someone has written and researched on it and proved it works, and you don't put it into practice, what is the relevance? What's the point? Now, that's the point you're coming from. We have learned people with big degrees.
That is your point.
No. We have learned people with big degrees who have learned things that they are not implementing. They are not even trying what they've researched, not to even talk of practical things. Now, I also always say that I think in general, not just Ghana, but in Africa, we focus too much on formal
Education.
tertiary
formal
education. You must have a
yeah.
degree before. It's kind of a yardstick for measuring how smart or intelligent somebody is. But we need to move away from that mentality. We're not saying education is bad. I'm not saying education is bad. Of course, everyone wants to be educated. But after the education, then what?
I know somebody who copies it.
How are you going to apply the knowledge you have gained? And someone might not have education, but you can use educated minds to achieve things. So you can have an illiterate who has what we call home sense. But in the case of BEDIAKO, he's gained a lot of experience and wisdom along the way through his business and all that. But what I'm saying is even an illiterate who is smart or has natural wisdom can apply his wisdom by employing or recruiting people who claim to have all these qualifications to help develop a country or to help build something. So it doesn't, you the person don't necessarily have to have a degree in order to contribute. You can use your wisdom to recruit the right people, and with the right vision, you can still achieve the same
What
thing.
you just said, that was the entire reign of Rollins. Rollins,
Right.
it's 19 years.
Yeah.
And he actually put people with the best brains in Ghana those times.
Yeah.
There are Chudazis and what, I don't know, Chikates and E.T. Mensens and all these people. How are we now?
Yeah, the thing is like, I think like on a grander scale, usually it's like hands-on experience, with like, personal qualities, right? Usually outweigh formal education. I mean, look at somebody like Elon Musk.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me you're not going to purchase a Tesla because Elon Musk did not finish a complete school or he doesn't have a degree.
Right.
Do you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like of course, we all believe in education where you got to go to school because there are basics you need to understand and stuff like that. But let me give you like, a little bit of like, what you call it, dig up that I did. So we go way back in history, right? People like Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
He literally like, he self-studied.
He's a Kobolo.
Exactly. Thomas Edison, we all know him. What did he do? He invented what?
Street lights.
The light bulb.
Exactly, the light bulb.
Yeah.
No degree, right? The same thing. We could go on and on and on. Henry Ford.
Yeah.
We all know Ford.
Mention
Ford
some
cars.
Ghanaians.
Without Ford cars,
Mention
right?
some Ghanaians.
Henry Ford.
Keep it local. Keep it local.
Powerhouse, right? In terms of
Keep it
fashion.
And even Nana BEDIAKO himself.
Keep it local. That
Brastel
is the thing.
Simmons.
Just keep it local.
No, these are the guys that we all pretty much aspire to be, right?
You know why I'm saying keep it local? Because I've read people's comment and someone like in the States or in the UK or whatever, the platforms are there. So even if you don't go to school and you're a bit techie, you can get something done.
No,
and people,
no, it doesn't work like that.
That is
get
what
it.
people are saying. That's what I'm saying. Keep it. Let's go back to Ghana. We have somebody like Despite. We have this. We have that.
Exactly.
We have
exactly.
It's proven.
Yeah, but the point is, it's kind of like it being silly because, I mean, because of our audience, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to like, appeal to like a global audience. So we're giving them people that we cannot relate and resonate with. But at the end of the day, Cheddar himself, right? I mean, his pedigree. It's not like something that is on paper. You can literally see it on the ground. He's got like mansions, buildings, real estate. He's bringing in tigers that are like, very rare. He's doing stuff that speak. I mean, you cannot even ask him like, how can you lead a country without a degree?
Yeah. When there was a time,
right? It's kind of like pitiful.
There was a time they asked him a question about the convention that was cancelled, and he said he can bet you that if, say, the Ghanaian president, Nigerian president, and another Ivorian president, if together they invite those 4 people, Dr. Arikana, whatever, Pialuluma, they won't come to the table.
Yeah.
But he can assemble them. And he went further to say that he can bring Elon Musk, he can bring Mayweather, he can bring Mark Zuckerberg, he can assemble all those people around the table.
Yeah.
That's how much power he has. So it's not just about book knowledge. It's about your negotiation skills. It's about how worthy people see you. Why is this guy inviting me? Who is he to invite me? If they think they will gain something or you're worthy of it, they will come. But with these are corrupt politicians. So it's not really about the power you have as in political power, but it's also about the innate power, your ability to convince people, the ability to assemble the big guys.
Yeah. So the point is, I think he went back again talking about why he did not complete schooling. And he's like, he was rebellious towards education, right? This is what the host was trying to say. It was like, no, it was his thing. He just felt like he had no interest. He felt like he belonged somewhere else. I don't call that rebellion, and I'm not. He was saying the same thing. He's not saying he's not going to educate his kids. It's just he just thought it just was not for him.
Yeah.
And I feel like you should not keep pressing and pressing. This is how badly I felt about the interview, right? Because from somebody who's known as a seasoned journalist.
It is about time they get to know you don't need a title to be a leader. That mindset needs to be like, I'm a bit sad because the guy is a bit learned. If I say learned,
who's that? The Umaru guy?
The Umaru guy, and well exposed too. You know. So I think, but it is the format. You have to look at it. It is the format.
I just
because
felt
you just
like
mentioned
that
Bolare has already
but
the same already.
It felt like he was just trying to come up like him like a tough journalist.
Yes.
Right. But the point is that it's like, even if you can be tough, but it has to be relevant.
Yeah.
Right. It has to be information that people are kind of like,
exactly
willing to disseminate and make their own opinions about it. So let's move on to the next thing. So we were talking about policies, right? You got to ask the guy's policies, what plans he has for the country as a leader if he comes into power. Things that he's going to do differently than the legacy politicians. We did not get to do that. But I was able to do that in just 3 minutes. You know why? Because there's something called Chat GPT. You could literally get tons of questions to ask a politician, even if you have no idea about what to ask him.
Yeah,
and this is my problem, right?
Yeah.
So let's go to one. Literally, economic development. You could ask him, right? What are his plans, priorities in driving economic development and reducing poverty in the country? These are things people want to understand.
Okay.
I'm going to do this. Secondly, healthcare. How do you plan to improve healthcare system to ensure it is accessible and affordable for all citizens? These are things that we want to know. We need to understand because our healthcare system right now, it's what?
It's in tatters.
It's crap. But you spend 1 hour asking somebody about dredging. All right, moving on. Education, right? What specific measures will you take to enhance the quality of education and ensure equal access for all children, including those in marginalized and disenfranchised communities? These are things we want to know about. How are you going to improve these things? Corruption and governance.
Yeah.
That's something we're really interested in, right?
Yeah.
What measures are you going to put in place to make sure that, corruption is on the down low? I mean, definitely you cannot get out of the system. It's impossible. At least you can mitigate it to a certain point. So this is what I could go on and on and on. This is what I'm saying. There are like tons of important questions you could ask this guy.
And you could even see that during the interview, he himself asked the journalists, these are the sort of questions I thought I was going to answer.
Exactly.
Questions relevant to our future, not about my past.
That's how we get into the person's mindset
and
understand where he's coming from.
That's why I go back and I keep saying all these are MPs and blah, 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 blah. They know the format. So when they go, they know you're going to, where did you go to school? I went to Fontipin.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they
PhD from here.
Yes, and then they make all this
Southampton University.
Smoke and blah, blah, blah. They win the election and then you never see them for 4 years.
Yeah.
Another time for election and then they go back and do the same. It is because of our style of asking questions.
Yeah,
if you look at the comments below the main interview published by CTV,
oh yeah, people were just ripping into
99% or 99.9% were against the interviewer. So people were like, "You just wasted my time.
Yes.
You had a chance to ask really for such a big.
It was a waste of
platform. You
That's
had
what I'm saying. It was an absolute waste of time.
Exactly.
Over 1 hour, I think, and it was like the same thing over and over again. And he came back to one question. So, do you pay your taxes?
that was like
you shock him.
Right, because the thing is, it's crazy. I said you should have done that homework before. Okay, let's say you pop up on screen, right, and you're like, okay, I did my digging, and I'm like, okay, I saw maybe 3 years of unpaid taxes from this business of yours, or something, and then you have something to go on, right, and then he has to be able to explain that, okay, there was like, a misunderstanding, discrepancy, probably it's a financial thing, I dealt with it, it's in the past, but then you have nothing to show. It's like, straight up, do you pay your taxes? So my thing is, were you expecting him to say yes or no?
And who will incriminate himself on national TV?
That's what I'm saying.
But
so that's like one of those stupid questions. You have to have something to go on.
I always say this, I think people, our brothers and sisters in the media, they don't know how important they are in national development. That is my take, my personal take, and they can come from me. You don't know, because if you know, just one simple question, and I won't say simple, one intelligent, good question, right on the nail, will change a lot of lives. Because they have the platform.
Yeah, but they like this, just the position way of like interviews, right? It's like they're looking for something to kind of like,
and let them feel
you, and let them feel good.
I think they want to be in the limelight rather than the one they interview.
Umaru Sanda interviewed Cheddar, and he got this big headline, and the next day is all over the news. It's like, this is what Cheddar said.
All right, so at some point, back and forth, I think Cheddar made this remark saying, you guys in the media space, you should be able to ask like relevant questions and important questions. And Umaru made, I don't know, I did not really even like the way he put that out there, like, oh, I'm not going to take journalism, or I think you can tell me how to do my job because I've been in this for a very long time, stuff like that. I'm paraphrasing, he said something to that extent. But my take on that is like, you are kind of telling this guy he cannot, put together this dredging thing, has he done his... When did you become an engineering
for me
guru? This guy has showed that he's in that space so he can get it done. But he telling you something that you could also be asking him. You're like, he should not tell you what to do. So why are you trying to dig into something he said he's gonna do? Because you're also not like an engineering expert.
They cower when they meet the real people that they're supposed to throw those kind of questions.
Oh yeah, exactly.
They cower.
Right.
Yeah, I think Cheddar made a comment like that. It's he saw because some big politicians on his show.
Those questions should go to
the president,
the driver, the mate that now trying to become the driver.
Dr. Bam,
Yes, those questions should go to those people because they've been in government for years. And they've not been able to do. So if you have that energy, take it this way. This is a new guy coming with brilliant ideas. Ask intelligent questions like the things he's been talking about.
Right.
Take him to tax. How many years is it going to take you to do this, that, and that, and that, and that? So that when we vote, if I'm in Ghana, I'm going to vote for him. Facts. When I vote for him, I know in 2 years' time, I can run to the street and say, hey, man, you lied to me.
Yeah.
We never hold our politicians to ransom with the things they say. And that is why we are in when it starts to rain, then we swim in stuff. You know?
I think this is not the only time that any leader or politician has made such remarks. Honorable Kennedy Japan said the same thing. He said, you journalists really need to learn how to do your jobs, because even when he was campaigning, he said the same thing, that they ask irrelevant questions. Questions that don't add anything to people's educating people. He's just looking for headlines. And
that's exactly what it was. Yeah. He was just looking to make headlines.
They don't know what they have.
All right, so let's wrap it up. Personally, I felt like Cheddar actually, he was able to control his temper. Like, I could not. I was just watching. I was boiling the whole time. I'm like, come on, you could do a better job than this. I mean, look, you're gonna say we're not journalists, blah blah blah, but we've been around like enough to understand some of these things, right? Like I said, ChatGPT, I was on there 3 minutes. I got like 10 really super like awesome questions I could have asked Cheddar, and I feel like people could have been like, what? Oh, okay, now we understand the mindset of this guy, right? So how do we move forward from here? Are we gonna stick with him, or are we gonna go the other way, right? People have options. But then you do not come up with this, tough guy bravado attitude just to kind of make headlines. That's
one thing Ghanaians forget. It doesn't.
Anyways, your last take? Yeah.
There's one thing Ghanaians forget. It doesn't necessarily take high school, whatever, to know what I need in my hood, right? I know my roads is in tatters. I know you don't. What do you call it? You don't construct a road by just putting sand, water, and then coal tar on it, and then some gravels. I know you don't do that. I'm not an engineer, but I know. I've not been to their school, but I know. These are things I know. So if things are being done like that, within 2 days, it rains and everything is in tatters, and that person comes to sit on TV, and you cannot ask him, why did you, under your governance or your whatever, you allow this and this to happen? It doesn't take any intellectual whatever to ask those kind of questions.
The last thing,
I just think that to develop any sector, any industry, any country, whatever, you just need the right leader with the right mindset, with a perfect drive, perfect direction. Once you have such a person who is committed, the rest is just finding the right people to do the job. In his interviews, he always says that I'm not an engineer, I'm not this, I'm not that, but I hire the right people to do the job exactly how I want.
That was a similar example, I mean, with Elon Musk and all these guys. It's not like he literally does everything by himself, right? You bring the right people.
You hear
to
all
get
these
the job
big people, Steve Jobs and all that. He had ideas, he had some knowledge, but he would.
Well, without his team,
he
couldn't have achieved anything.
You poach the right people. I mean, if you want to industrialize, you go to the right place. You come to China or South Korea, whatever, get the experts. They give you the blueprint. You can even hire some engineers. They're happy to do it for you for a fee. You want to do this, you want to build a tunnel, there are experts in building tunnels. So you go and find the right people. All you need is a right leader with the right mindset, with a drive, and it's possible.
Yeah.
So asking whether you have a degree and whether it's not relevant. Important thing is to have the right person to poach the right people. Look at Kia and Hyundai. Kia, their cars, like we always make fun of, when they made their first car, they put it in drive, the car was going reverse. Fast forward to today, like 10, 15 years ago, they hired Peter Schreier, the guy who used to design Audi TT. Look at where Kia is now. Americans are even abandoning their cars and buying Kia. So you just have to get the right people on board, and you can do anything. It's not only peculiar to a certain group of people or certain countries.
All right, look, my take would be, I mean, it's very simple. I mean, I feel like he reflects poorly on all journalists in Ghana, to be honest. Because I've seen a lot of good journalism too. I mean, Abeku Santana, like, he interviewed this guy, Cheda, and it was a brilliant interview.
I miss Komla Dumo.
Gideon.
Yeah, I mean,
Komla Dumo was very factual.
Yeah, those guys are it's cool. But I'm talking about Karen. Abeku Santana interviewed Cheda, the same guy, and it was like brilliant. And I think Belamundi, same thing. Belamundi had to sit down with him, and it was great. So I'm saying there are some good journalists out there, but what this guy did, Umaru did, it reflects really poorly on all journalists in Ghana. So my take is, it's like he's got to go back, because I think I did a little bit of digging on him, and he's been at City FM, he's been a journalist for over 10 years, more than a decade. I mean, you are experiencing that in that field. I mean, over a decade, that is almost an expert, so to speak. Okay. So I feel like he should get his facts straight and do a better job next time, because this one was really, really appalling. So As usual, let us know your comments, your opinions in the comment section, and subscribe if you haven't yet. We'll see you on the next episode. DLS out.
Peace.